I believe I'm a little bit late. I'd rather flyaways, man. I have so much hair. I got to go fly away. Oh, it's New York Giants straight talk with the FanDuel, with the Believe, with ZipRecruiter. All those fun things. We want to talk about the game last night at the MetLife. It, of course, was the blowout. Hey Tim, love the quick release. We're gonna get to Jackson Dart because everyone, you know what, Jackson, or do we want to just get to Jackson Dart right now? Kind of just get it out of the way because I think we may need to just get to Jackson Dart. Mr. McCormick, what's up, Mr. McCormick? I am not getting overly excited about the preseason too. Listen, it was a fun game to watch. It was a good game to watch. It was an entertaining game to watch, especially from the Giants' perspective. We were sitting up in the suite having a good time. We had James Williams. We had his lovely girl. We had Mrs. Online Big Blue. We had Anthony the Weatherman all the way coming up from Wilkes-Barre. We had Ryan's from Big Blue Podcast and others. So it was a fun night to get to see everyone again, to get to just to watch some Giant football. But I'm not going to get gaga over what we're seeing right now because there are some good things, and Jackson Dart did some things extremely well. He also did some things extremely well against guys that are going to be basically working at Home Depot. Now, there's nothing wrong with that because you can only play the competition that you were against. But Brian Daboll is systematically smart with the way he is handling Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart has never really fully seen a complement of a defense that is going to perplex him. He went up against a Buffalo team that by the time that he got in, the most of the Buffalo starters were out. Buffalo last year had the worst pass rush and one of the worst, in the entire league last year. That's why I went out. They got Ed Oliver. That's why I went out and got Bosa. The Jets, by the time Dart had come in fully, had removed most of their starters, pretty much all their starters, and had some mixture of second, third, and fourth teamers in there. So he gave him a defense that was not going to be on par with what they would see week 1, 2, 3, or 4, which is smart because you want to build the kid's confidence, which is smart, and he did that. The kid played well. He went 14 for 16 for 137 and the touchdown. He also had the 2 runs for 5 yards. You have to people. We need to talk about this misconception that Jackson Dart is this like lightning fast, quick quarterback in reference to getting out of the pocket. He's not. Daniel Jones, for all of his flaws, has more speed than Jackson Dart. Let's have some coffee. But you saw from Jackson Dart what you wanted to see. You saw a guy that proficiently ran the offense. It was still a lot of quick dump offs, a lot of quick screens. He had a couple nice plays in reference to some throws downfield. But you saw a guy that's what they did. You know, there was a lot of dump offs over to Turbo and other people into the tight ends. But that's what you want to do. You want to build the kid's confidence. Now, if you think that you are going to bring this kid in if you are confident enough, and I don't think Brian Daboll's confident enough for this, because if you take a look in the joint practice with the Jets, especially in Florham Park, Jackson Dart only ran second team. He didn't go against any of the first or second teamers against the Jets in either of the practices. Why? Because that's smart. Because you're going to build this kid's confidence. You're going to build this kid's ability. You are going to build this kid's understanding of an NFL defense, and you're going to help him maturate. And that's exactly what you want to see with Jackson Dart. You want to see him get better each game. You want to see him make better decisions each game. That's what you want out of your quarterback. And that's what you got last night. You saw a quarterback who was still at a lot of times, a single read quarterback, which is fine. You saw a quarterback that at times also had the ability to look down the field, because that's what you want to see. You see all those things, but the problem is this: is all that going to roll into a starting job or a QB2 position behind Russell Wilson? I'm going to say hopefully no. Because for everything that you liked and saw with Jackson Dart, there are other things that you haven't even seen yet. Preseason is an anomaly. Preseason, you are getting your guys ready. You are getting the first half or the first quarter or so of the Giants' first preseason. That was more of an indication what this team was going to look like or what this team is going to look like. Because of the fact that you saw when, that's when the Jets were, I got to move my camera a little bit. That's when the Jets were running out their first teamers. That's when the Giants had a lot of their first team defense out there. But this call into Evans, I'm going to get to everyone in the chat too. Good morning, Eric. This call for people to start Dart is fucking insane. The kid's not ready. Yeah, he looks good against the Home Depoters. But he's never seen competition above second teamers, even in joint practices. Like I said, I like what I see out of the kid. I like the progressions. When he goes through it, I like the fact that he looks like he feels comfortable. But you have a quarterback in Russell Wilson. You have a professional quarterback. And to me, I know it was only one throw for 80 yards and 3 targets with Bo Collins, but to me, Bo Collins has got to make this team. We watched the Jalen Hyatt. We watched the Jalen Hyatt literally. I mean, I don't even know what the fuck's going on with Jalen Hyatt, to be perfectly honest, because we watched him block or tried to block and then run out and never come back on again. But that 80-yard moon ball to Bo Collins to me, like I said, Bo Collins is a big, he's like 6'3". He's a big target. He can play special teams. He can be a gunner. He can be on your field goal unit. He's a guy that is pushing to be on this team. And that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see in this preseason. You'll also see some people like TJ Moore that, it looks like he's trying to make a push. I think Dante Johnson, the linebacker, he was active. He only had 1 solo tackle, but he had 4 total. He was active. I'm getting a little concerned about this vaunted pass rush a little bit. I'm getting a little concerned about it because of the fact that from some things that I saw Abdul Carter do well. There was things that I watched. We watched Abdul Carter do well, but I also saw him on multiple occasions against the run get manhandled and get put in the dirt. And these are the things that and the Jets' ability to run off tackle yesterday was scary. It was literally scary at times. Because we watched it over. It's like the dichotomy of last season. We watched them run these off tackle plays, and where we were sitting when you're watching this, it's like, oh my God, this just reminds me of last 4 seasons that all they're doing is going off tackle. And like I said, when you have undersized defensive ends who are not particularly proficient at playing the run, and you don't have enough quality linebackers to back them up, that's when things go wrong. And those are some of the things that we want to look at. But if you want to get excited about Jackson Dart, there's plenty to get excited about. He's doing what he needs to do. It's almost like, did the Giants learn from the mistakes of Daniel Jones' past? Daniel Jones, outside of his rookie season, really never played in the preseason. And we're sitting there with Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue podcast last night. The best line of the night was Ryan came in and Ryan was with his friends, some Jet fans, and they were up in the nosebleeds. And I also gave him my other season tickets to hang out for his brother. And I loved it though, because he comes in, we had the suite. So he comes into the suite. There's the suite from last night. He comes into the suite and he goes to me, he goes, I might never leave. Like this is where I don't want to go. I don't want to go. It's like, it's air conditioned in here. I don't want to go back out there. So I think that was one of the lines of the night. But like I said, if you want to get excited about Jackson Dart, yes, there is a lot to be excited about. There is a lot to like. You like the Jonathan Moxon. You enjoy that. You enjoy the fact that he does. He seems to have this. This way with his teammates. I actually would like to see him wear number 4. Can we petition to get him to wear number 4? Because I would like to have a little Jonathan Moxon out there. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. I nearly died going to the game. But hit the like button though. But you can't start the kid. You can't. I'm sorry. And I'm still not even at the point where you could trade Jameis Winston. Because Jameis Winston against the Holy Rolling second team or third, fourth team, the Home Depot has even looked good at 6-11 for 110 yards, averaging 10 yards a reception. Like I said, the Giant passing attack after that first quarter and outside of the 80-yard moon ball wasn't very proficient until the second half, which is where they probably gained almost 260 of their yards. The running game. Turbo Dante Miller, if you're going to keep him, he's going to have to be a receiving back because for all of his speed, he still can't bounce it outside fast enough. He gets knocked off his he gets knocked off his routes, a reference to going into when he's attacking the line very easily, but he's a guy that can proficiently catch the ball. He's got more speed than Eric Gray, so we kind of hope the Gray ghost is going to be gone, but the problem is this. You have a crowded backfield now. They're talking about Cam Scatterbo now not being ready for week 1. That shocked the hell out of me a little bit that they're talking about him not even being ready for week 1. So we got to kind of wait and see with that. But you have a crowded backfield right now. If you have Scatterbo with Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary's making the team. Devin Singletary is a professional. Devin Singletary also has a $6 million dead cap number with a $6 million cap hit because of the fact that he's got a guaranteed $6 million contract. So he's not going anywhere. But we really have to figure out what you're going to do with Turbo because, like I said, as a third down option out of the backfield, I think he performs extremely well. The only problem is I'm not liking my third down back to be 5'9". So I want to see a little bit more height out of this team. And can we stop with the Wan'Dale Robinson down the field? Oh, for the love of God. Can we please stop sending Wan'Dale Robinson out on these long patterns? He literally almost got annihilated on a play. I mean, Papa Smurf Smurfette was almost wearing black because Wan'Dale went out like on a 30-yard out and almost got annihilated. I was like, can we just stop with that? For the love of God, can we just stop with that? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying, but just for the love of God, leave him as your third down. Leave him as your slot guy. But please, for the love of God, don't send him out into routes anymore that deep. That's just me, though, guys. That's just me. But Papa Smurf, yeah, Papa Smurf ran. That's what we're going to refer to it as. Papa Smurf almost got gargameled. But like I said, Smurfette was wearing black. Robinson got crushed. I was like, is he dead? Because I'm not sure. And every time I watch, I still think of a play in camp, and I posted it on not Instagram, YouTube short. He was out on a deep pattern, and it's almost like he didn't know what to do, and he was waiting for the ball. And as he's waiting for the ball, Dane Belton comes out of nowhere and steals it like he's stealing a first grader's lunch money. And I'm like, Wan'Dale, how do you not see this guy streaking behind you? So can we just stop that? Can we just, for the love of God, can we just stop that? Let me get to a couple things in the checks. I want to keep going on here. Let's see here. I like Collins and I like Washington. Like I said, Bo Collins to me, Montreal Washington. Here's the thing with Montreal Washington. And we talked about this. Montreal Washington's been in the league for 3 years. He was with Denver. I think he was with Kansas City, and he had his most success in Denver 3 seasons ago. He's a known commodity in the league. And again, he looked good at times, but when he went up against the first teamers from the Jets, he looked like the Montreal Washington that was returning kicks and didn't know how to hold on to the ball back in Denver. And again, I'm tired of these. I'm tired of these 5'10", 170-pound wide receivers. Bo Collins like 6'3", 240 or whatever he is, or 220. I want a prototypical number one. I don't want a Rod Tidwell. I don't want the shrimp who's got a chip on his shoulder, according to the former GM of the Arizona Cardinals. But let's see here. James, what is Joseph James said? I've seen so much footage on the Real 22 of Hyatt unable to release from the quarterback from a route. Hyatt is unplayable. I don't know what Real 22 is. I have no fucking clue. But I will tell you this, Joseph. We have been saying on this channel the biggest issue of Jalen Hyatt is the fact that he can't get off the line fast enough into his routes. We've been saying that since his rookie season. You can watch it. He takes way too long to get past the defender and into his route. He takes that almost like an extra 2 seconds, which is detrimental when you're trying to go deep, especially when you have a gun-shy quarterback like Daniel Jones. He's still having those exact same issues. Robert said, everyone's quick to wipe the Daniel Jones editors. Remember, I know we are tired of being a constant rebuild, but we need to be patient. That's the key. You need to be patient with Jackson Dart. And I know it's going to be difficult. I know Russell Wilson. This is what I fear. I fear banana tree spiders, because they're like fucking elephants, spiders, like an elephant. And if you ever lived in Florida, you know what that is. And I fear the fact that we are going to be pressured, or the coaching staff is going to be pressured into playing Jackson Dart, because he's not ready. He's never even competed against a quality NFL defense outside of second teamers, third teamers, and Home Depoters. So you put him in against Washington, and it's going to get ugly quick, because he has yet to see any type of exotic defense. He right now, to me, would be my third quarterback. I would either try to trade Jersey Shore Tommy or just try to stash him away on the practice squad, because no one's going to take him. And I would put him in as the third. I put him in as the third QB, third emergency QB the first couple weeks, and let him sit and let him watch. Because Russell Wilson at 37 is proficient enough and can drive the ball. I am more comfortable with Russell Wilson dropping those moon balls and than I am right now with Jackson Dart starting an entire game, because those moon balls are what's going to hopefully loosen the defense and allow the Giants to run. 100%. Jay Ferris says, if Hyatt catches the pass on social media, will explode. I think James Williams was trying to explode. Big Mike Lee says, people must have either forgotten or did not listen to Dable said last week regarding Jackson Dart. Yeah, no, I think you're right. We talked, Jay. I mean, Mike Lee, we talked about that on the show. Dable basically came out and said, you know what? I have the quote. Hold on. I have the quote. I'm going through my media archives. Here we go. Let's see here. You still got it. This is what he talked about Jackson Dart. Yeah, let's see here. He's improved since he's been here. Still a long way to go, but I enjoy working with him on the sidelines. He sees the game well. I'm glad he's here. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what we have to remember about you. That's what we have to remember. Skyline. Abdul Carter got run over on a chip block. Oh my God. Listen. Abdul Carter against the first team offensive line. Abdul Carter in the running game got destroyed. I mean, destroyed. Twice I watched the tackle put him on his back. And I'm not talking, and you're right, he got destroyed on a chip block, but I watched a tackle twice put him to the ground. Yes, because, and the good thing is Abdul Carter, he wears this red sleeve. So you can watch him play because you just look for the red sleeve. Yes, everything that we thought proficient with his speed to get to the QB. The problem is it's like Kayvon Thibodeau season 1. He's got to learn how to finish. but the giant defense against the run is scaring the fucking bejesus out of me. Because I watched the first team offense of the Jets rip through the Giants. They ran 33 times for 141 yards. Allen at one point in time had 2 long off tackle runs, and they only played like the first 2 series that start the full starting Jets offense. I was shocked that they pulled Justin Fields out that quickly. But yes, we need to be a little bit afraid. And we need to be slightly afraid of our defensive backfield because of the fact that, yes, the Jets quarterbacks were only 19 for 37 for 192, but I could think of at least 7 drops and a bunch of high passes. Yeah, we got to worry about that. Jackson Dart, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Bo Collins to me, Bo Collins is a keeper. Sign Bo Collins up. I'm going to get me a Bo Collins jersey, whatever number it is. Sign me up. I like Bo Collins. I like Bo Collins since the beginning of camp. And he got some reps with the first teams during the Jet scrimmages. And he looked, like I said, anytime you can catch, it was a beautiful 80. It was a little short though. Yeah, I got to complain about something, but you're Russell Wilson. You put that 6 inches in front of him, it's a touchdown. But he threw it 80 yards. So, I guess I can't be too upset. Jalen Hyatt's realistic candidate to be. Oh, Jalen Hyatt should be cut. They should just go and cut Jalen Hyatt now and just avoid the rush. Black Bourbon Knight says James Williams happens to my brother. James Tebow did. Let's see here. People. Good morning, James. Everyone's talking to James. I loved it because Ryan got to meet James because that was the big. And for those, I apologize for those that we did not get to meet in the parking lot. With the freaking new parking system they have in here, it was a mess to get into the stadium. Mrs. Online Big Blue actually got into an argument with the parking lot attendant. And I love it because he was rude and obnoxious. And then I finally said, well, we're season ticket holders and we're parking in the VIP lot. So all of a sudden that changed. He was like, well, I'm so sorry. And, I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah. So we got in late. Everyone got in late. Everyone got in like 30 minutes before the game even started. Jay Ferris says, Papa Smurf when Stonehand's brothers at one pass just bounced off his hands. What the fuck? There was a pass for Jackson Dart yesterday that I have to laugh. And I'm not picking on it. I have to laugh. But hit the guy in the back of the helmet. It was one of his miss. It was high and hit the kid in the back of the helmet. Even James Williams was like, did that just hit the guy in the back of the head? I guess it did. We're not funny. The only time I want to see Jackson Dart is when they throw him in for a play ever so often to actually do what he did. Then looks to run out the drive so he gets a taste. I agree. Like I said, you can have Jackson Dart to me, like I said, you can be extremely excited about Jackson Dart. Could you be extremely more excited about hitting the like button? You can be extremely excited about Jackson Dart because he looks like he's maturing into an NFL quarterback. But the problem is we have yet to see him against what I like to refer to as NFL competition. Most of the times he is playing against third teamers and Home Depots. And you can't count the Buffalo game because you saw the difference between the Jet first string defense and the Buffalo first string defense. You saw the difference. And I would play. You're playing on a short week. You're playing a Thursday night game, which I don't understand that with the fucking NFL. It's fucking preseason NFL. How can you have the Giants play on Saturday and put them in a short week and make them play Thursday on a preseason game? So you're not going to see anybody. You are literally going to see nobody this preseason. No one whatsoever that last game. I would play Jackson Dart the first half because you need to get this kid more reps against the Patriots. I'd play him the first half, and then I would evaluate my roster in the second half. We're going to go to the game. So, and it kills me because it's like I would probably stay the first half and probably leave at halftime because I'm not going to watch the likes of Tommy DeVito throwing to Montreal, Washington. Let's see. Joe Judge only played Daniel Jones one drive in 2021. Yep, that's true. James Joseph said, I'm starting to be more optimistic, thinking we might get 7 wins. No, we're still a 5-win team. We're still a 5-win team. There is. And with the feel-good story of Jackson Dart, there are massive concerns about this team. if you are going to take off this cool Giant hat, which I got at the state, this hat is, they have some awesome hats this year. Here's the run defense. Great balls of fire. The pass defense, yikes. The pass rush really has not impressed me the last 2 weeks, and while it's been impressive in camp, that's not translating right now to game reps. Abdul Carter as either your starting defensive end or linebacker, that ain't going to happen. He's going to be a situational pass rush because, like I said, we watched him get destroyed in the run game. I mean, he got fucking, and this is what I was concerned about from day one. He got pancaked on 2 plays, and then I forgot who said it, but on the chip block, yowza. Speed to get to the pass, speed to get to the quarterback. He's got to learn to take better angles because he's going to have to, he's got to cut his distance between himself and the quarterback. And he needs to close and he needs to finish. And that's all. Those are the same issues Kayvon Thibodeau had his first season as well. But no, I can't see 17. Hurst also, Dart has the moxie than Daniel Jones ever. Yeah, that ain't saying much stuff. Blackbird says you want your rookie quarterback to look good against the side. That's the thing. Thank you, Blackbird. Oh my God, thank you, Blackbird. You get Blackbird gets the Blackbird gets the McLovin sound effect.
I am McLovin
because that's what you want him to do. That's exactly why Brian Dable has not thrown him in against the first teamers. That's why when he had the opportunity to put him again against the first team defense of the Jets on the joint practices, he didn't do it. Yes, that's smart. That's smart because you build the confidence in your quarterback. You build his ability to read and you give him and hopefully he is not. I don't think Dable is. I don't think he's overhyping him because we've read the comments. But you make sure you understand that. Listen, you are an NFL quarterback, but you are not ready to be a starting NFL quarterback. Hit that like button, says Big James. Blackbird says it's way too early to start. Dart, Russell Winston had a rushing TD. Famous Jameis, man. Well, yeah, he had the one rushing TV, but Jackson Dart had rushing TD too. But Jameis, like I said, you roll. I roll with Wilson and Jameis. That's what I do. Those are the ones I roll with. Let's see. Your James Stein says, according to you, the Giants should cut straight Hyatt right now because he's not a physical enough player level. Wilson likes him, and so does Dart. Yeah. Okay, that's great. I liked some people that I used to hang out with in the second grade. But then when I found out, when I got a little bit older, they were fucking assholes. I cut them off. He's not physical enough to play in the NFL. He can't get off his routes. I watched him. We went to like 8 of the 10 open practices, and I watched him after almost each practice at one point in time. And it was Dante Banks. I can't remember who else was there. Watching him work on getting off his route, into his route. I always thought he was going to be a Devontae Smith type player. I thought he was going to use his speed and quickness to get around faster and bigger defenders. But he has shown nothing. He has shown maybe a flare here and once or twice in camp, but Jalen Hyatt has shown nada, voodoo, nothing. AP says Dart looks like he still needs to let him sit and learn like the best teams do. Yeah, but the problem is this, AP. Everyone's going to get too excited to put him. Once Russell Wilson throws an interception at MetLife, there is going to be this groundswell. That's why I'm glad the first 2 games were on the road. There's going to be this groundswell to start Jackson or play Jackson Dart. You are going to boo. Certain segment of fans are going to boo unmercilessly Russell Wilson, 2-time Super Bowl participant, 1-time Super Bowl winner, Super Bowl MVP. And you are going to boo him like no tomorrow to start a kid who's not ready. And it could get ugly quick. Giants are doing 100% the right thing. They are doing it 1,000% the right way. You're not putting him in a situation where you are setting him up to fail. You put him in against second team defenses, especially against Buffalo. You put him in with ability where you have a game plan where you're going to go short, short, build up his confidence in reference to his throws. And then when the Home Depoters come in, you attack, because he should be better than a guy asking me where I can find a flathead screwdriver. So that's what you want to do. And you want to continue to build that crescendo. You want to continue, and then you want to continue to teach him to read NFL defenses. There is a reason that he saw no first-team reps against the Jets starting defense last night or the Jets during the 2 joint practices. There is a reason. There is a thought process behind it, and it's going to frustrate and infuriate some Giant fans, but it's the smart thing to do. Build his confidence, turn around, have him get the ability to read NFL defenses, have him have the ability to see the entire field, and maybe week 8 or 9, if you're out of contention, you could pull the Russell Wilson project, and then you can turn around and start Jackson Dart. And you can be happy about that. We got to get to the super chat from the big old Zach Attack. Wilson is a big upgrade, even with the point of this career. However, it's enough to cover the other team's holes. Scheme to the team, not scheme over team. We've said that. Thank you, Zach Attack. We've said that 1,000,000 times. We have said that 1,000 times. You have to scheme to the team, not scheme over team. We worry about that with the likes of Shane Bowen. We worry about that. But you're right. You are 100% right, Zach. And that's why I said Russell Wilson, if you are out of contention in week 8, if you are 1-7, 2 or 6, yeah, put in Jackson Dart. You have a late bye this year, so you're not going to get that midseason bye where you can put him in there. But put him in, because you're doing the right things. You're doing right now, like I said, you have to give Brian Daboll and his offensive staff with Mike Kafka all the praise and all the props in the world, because they are blocking out all the minutia from the New York media, the content creators, social media, and everything else, and they're building this kid the right way. And that is 100% what you want to see. Super says Wan'Dell's the most overrated player on this team. He's not an overrated player. He is what he is. He is what he is when he came out of Kentucky. We said it the day we drafted him. He is, when you get pulled down from behind at Kentucky on numerous occasions, that's probably going to happen in the NFL. He is a guy that is going to be a 4, 5, 6 yards off the line guy. He's not going to get you much yak. He'll use his quickness at times, but please, for the love of God, stop sending him deep. Stop sending him deep. I've watched it in camp, and I watched it again yesterday. I'm like, I almost wanted to say, Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, you almost got him killed. We don't need Smurfette wearing black, because Papa Smurf almost didn't come home. Motors agent did a nice contract. We can't even cut him. I like Turbo Miller. He has the skills. Scatterboom may end up injured reserve. This could mean he's too fragile to play the NFL. No, it doesn't mean that. It's a hamstring. Come on, James. Come on, James Stein. You're better than this. 2 comments in a row. You're better than this. A hamstring can happen to anybody. And hamstring injuries are the worst fucking football injuries you can have at times, because of the fact that you don't know if it's going to heal correctly. You don't know how long it's going to take to heal. You don't know if you're going to tweak it again. Sometimes you have a hamstring, you're out the entire year. Did the Texans have their best rushing attack without Motor? Yes. Motor Singletary, we've talked about this before. When he was in the Texans, and all the wide receivers got hurt, and they were rushing to the playoffs, and CJ Stroud is a rookie quarterback, they didn't rely on the running game. They relied still on CJ Stroud. To me, Motor is a third back. He's going to be a second back right now, but he is a professional back. So we want to make sure we keep the professional back. Jay Ferris says Papa Smurfs. We already got to the Random to the Gargamel one. Let's see here. Ryan, what's up, protector? Wanda Rum's going to get himself killed. That was a good pass play. He didn't even know what to. He didn't. He almost got annihilated. I felt so bad for him. It was almost like you're playing with adults and you sent a toddler deep. He's like, I'm not supposed to be this far down the field. Ma, where are you? It's like he lost his mother. And then a bad man came and offered him candy. and he got walloped. I'm stopping the Jalen Hyatt hype train like Denzel and Chris Pine. Oh, good one. Good one. Blackbird, look at Blackbird's catch rate his Hyatt's catch rate was like 40% last year. And people are like, well, when he gets in the coverage, they never throw the ball. Well, also when they throw the ball, he drops it 60% of the time. As for learning the past mistakes, this preseason is used for what preseason games for. It is a very nice change of pace for the Giants. It really is, because the Giants under Joe Judge and Pat Shurmur did not use the preseason for what it was worth and what it was for. And that's to develop talent, because you've lost all your padded practices outside of like 5 of them. So NFL used to run 2-a-days full pads, 3 hours each session usually. Now you're each practice is an hour, 2 hours, or usually 2 hours. But usually they cut it late, and then you only have like 5 padded practices. So the preseason is used just for that, and the Giants are using it the right way. They are playing their starters, and they're evaluating talent. You got to give the Giants all the credit in the world. Russ is good. Jay Ferris. Russ is gonna down like Denzel. We already got the dinosaurs. Oh no, you're going Denzel final and training day. You want to go to jail? You want to go home? What's up, Big Blue for life? What's going on, my brother? Joe Shane needs to cut the dead weight. Listen, Joe Shane has made a ton of mistakes in his first 2 draft classes. In 2 years, ain't got nothing on me. We just wanted to play that version instead of the other one. He in 2 years, potentially this year and next year, his entire first 2 draft classes could be on for this team. So yeah, so Washington will eat Dart alive. That's why we're not playing Dart. This is why the Giants, and this is what people hate. The Giants are actually doing something right. They're doing things right. God forbid this continues. But they're doing stuff the right way. They are playing their starters. They're evaluating talent. They're putting in their rookie 25th overall pick. They're playing him, but they're playing him in situations where he is going to succeed, which is what you want to do, which is brilliant. People don't like that. I feel like the New York media will hype these draft picks up, and when they put them into way too early, Dart isn't ready. I agree. Skyline says all the Dart's problems. It's nice seeing a quarterback throw the ball further than 2 yards. I can't proficiently diagnose if Dart has problems right now because I don't know what he's done yet. I gotta get a haircut. I don't know what he's done yet. He hasn't done anything against first teamers to diagnose issues. And I don't think what he has is problems. I think what he has is things that need to be worked on. There's a difference. Jalen Hyatt, who's in the league 3 years now, has problems. He's got problems. He still can't. Deontay Banks going into year 3 has problems. It was nice to see a Paulson Adebo sighting yesterday on a couple pass breakups. That was nice, though. So we got to like that. Blackbird says, even Dable said he's a long way to go. Yeah, we read the comment. The comment from Brian Dable was, let's see, Buddy is a confident young player. He needs to improve since he has improved since he's been here. Still got a long way to go, but I enjoy working with him. He sees the game well. I'm glad he's here. You know what we're also glad about? I don't know what let's go to the mighty FanDuel and let's take a look what the Giants are in reference to the spread on Thursday Night Football. Because we always go to FanDuel, the number one sports book in the nation, in America. So right now we're looking at the preseason odds for next week. We're looking at the New York Football Giants are going to be sitting at, where are the Giants? So the Giants covered the spread. No, they didn't cover the spread. The Giants were underdogs. So the Giants actually, Giants, yeah. That was a good bet. I already told you guys yesterday, take the points with the Giants. Because that was a good thing. I'm trying to see here what week 1 is for the Giants. I'm curious to see what the point spread is here. Let's see here. The Giants right now are 6.5 point dogs on week 1 going against the Washington Commanders or whatever team you want to call it. But that's, I would probably take that bet. I think Washington's going to come down to earth a little bit. I would take that 6.5 points. I would take the 6.5 points because you know what? And I would take that bet. You know where I would go and place it? I would place that bet over on FanDuel. Not only does FanDuel have, of course, sports betting, they have casinos, games, they have fantasy, they have a racing book. They literally have everything. They have the FanDuel television. So go to FanDuel.com right now. AP says, glad we even get to see the moon balls after Jones. We do. I like the moon balls. I like the moon balls as well. I do like the moon balls. And like I said, it's nice to see you actually throw the ball down the field. Jay Ferris says the media hypes shit so much. We only get to disappointment once the season starts. Then they dance on our grave and everyone wants to fight. Or they go on Twitter and like, oh yeah, I'm not even gonna do that shit. This is he got pancaked. Abdul Carter got pancaked twice. And then on the chip block, he got I was like, oh, that's not good. That's when I watched Hall and the other ones keep going off tackle early in that first quarter. I was like, this is not good. we need like a Quay Walker. I saw a video about that for the Green Bay Packer linebacker. I saw a video somewhere about that. Real awesome. Robert said Dart needs time, and I'm not sure that Dable will be around enough to develop him. This may create new problems for the kid. If you think that Jackson Dart is proficient, if you think Jackson Dart is your quarterback, it doesn't matter who your head coach is going to be as long as he shows talent. The problem is when Brian Dable and Joe Shane both came in here, they both sat there and told the Maras and the Tishes they can make an NFL quarterback out of Daniel Jones, and even God can't do that. So yeah, but Jackson Dart, we don't know yet. This could be something totally different with Jackson Dart. So we have to wait and see. I saw Kayvon Thibodeau on the ground getting dragged, kicking and screaming off Broadway, man. We were just talking about you. Sorry, brother. We got in late because of this new parking experience and we had to run up to the suite. I got your message, but I didn't get it till the end of the game. So I'm sorry we missed you. Maybe next time you guys were out there. We had James out there. We had everyone out there. It was a good time today. Trent says, "Told you Jackson Dart would start." Trenton Jakes. Trenton, you're just being Trenton. Trenton, you're just being you. You want Jackson Dart to start because you want the Giants to go 0-2 versus the Eagles. That's all you want. Full-blown love affair. Kafka called a good game yesterday. No doubt. It's the final score 31-12. Can't do it better than that. James Stein, I love you, brother, but it was the ineptitude of the Jets also that helped because the Jets could not complete a pass at one point in time in the second half. Second quarter, third quarter, they could not complete a pass. But like I said, we got to wait and see what Kafka has. Glad we didn't sign Justin Fields. We have to wait and see. Jets ran over us like Christmas shoppers at Walmart when the doors opened. Yeah. Bo Collins for the roster, the catch. He did adjust to the catch. Like I said, if Russell Wilson threw that 6 yards in front of him, that was a touchdown. But I like Bo Collins. I've liked Bo Collins since day one. I've talked about Bo Collins since day one. I thought he would be a practice squad guy, but like I said, he has done enough to make this roster. He has been getting reps with the first teams as of last week. He can play special teams. He is a big target. He is a prototypical big target wide receiver. I like him. I like the fact I'm still not sold on this receiving core. Robium Dobbs, Quay Walker for Kayvon Thibodeau. There's a video out there. Really good video to watch too. But like I said, with Malik Neighbors, we have a top 10 wide receiving core. Without Malik Neighbors, we're like 25th. And now there's talk about it's not the toe that he separated his shoulder or a slight separation. There is a difference between a separated shoulder and a slight separation. But so there's talk about that. And Cam Scatterby, like they're saying, may not be ready for week one because those hamstrings are tough. What do you think about Juice Wells? You're not going to have all these undrafted free agent wide receivers on this team. And Juice had 3 catches, but it was also targeted 5 times, only for 4 yards. I like I said, I think Bo Collins is going to get that. You're going to have, I don't know though, we need a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver because you can't go in this season with an unknown with Malik Neighbors. You can't go in with just Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't think Jalen Hyatt's going to be here. So I think it's going to be Bo Collins And then you got and it's probably going to be Montreal Washington. But like I said, Montreal Washington's been in the league for 3 years already. People need to understand he's not this undrafted rookie free agent everyone thinks he is. He's like, oh, he's been in the league for 3 fucking years. Jay Ferris says, yeah, that looked like some Jim Harbaugh shit. They just ran it right up us. They did. Let's see. Trent says, Eagles QB3 and 3-4 had about 20 yards total passing. Yeah, they all suck. Parking was a mess. Like I said, Mrs. Online Big Blue got into a fight with the parking lot attendant. This 4'11" little Indian Hispanic woman is fighting with the parking lot attendant. And he's yelling at us. And Mrs. Online Big Blue is trying to go just going like this to him. We're going this way. We're trying to go over here because she's pointing to the red lot. And the guy goes to, well, nobody likes when you point at them. Well, this guy the whole time was doing this. No, you got to go this way. And they're like, no, we're trying to go that way. And then he goes, well, did you show the guy over there your ticket? I'm like, well, no one fucking told us to show the guy over there our ticket. He waved us this way. And then he's like, well, if you don't have a parking ticket for there, they're just going to make you turn around. I told him, motherfucker, I'm a season ticket holder. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, sorry, sir. Oh, and when you're parking in the red lot, the VIP lot, yeah, you probably know this motherfucker in the car is spending a lot of money. Oh, I'm writing a letter to the Giants. I was so pissed off from that experience. I can't even tell you. James Stein says we need to learn how to stop the run or we're toast. Yeah, we are toast. We are toast against the run right now, and we need to figure out something rapidly. Blackbird, where's the Blackbird? Blackbird says Collins has had to slow down. He had to come back. Like I said, if you threw that ball in ahead of him, but it was still a nice pass, man. It was still, it was a nice pass by Russell Wilson. Yeah, it was a very nice pass. Let's see here. Parking was garbage. I hated the virtual change. Oh, the virtual change measurement, which is supposed to speed up the game, just makes it go to a fucking standstill. Only 30 likes. We need more people hit the like, but how many likes do we have? We have 103 people in the one room. We have another 100 something in the other room. How many likes do we have here? We should have 50. Oh, 41. That was close. Hit the like button for Robert. Robert's right. Hit the like button. Mr. McCormick, Dart shouldn't sniff the field this season. No, I think Dart should sniff the field this season. Not literally, though. I do think he should play. And but if you are 500, if you're like 4-4, or if you're 5-4, don't do a Tom Coughlin when you were 7-6 and you pulled Kurt Warner for Eli Manning. Don't do that. This team has been in the doldrums for so many years. If we have any hope or any shot for an outside playoff appearance, because I do think this division, I still think 9 wins is going to take this division, then you got to play them. You go 3-3 in your first 6, like I said, you got a shot, because then you only have to go 6-5 in your last 11. So yeah, I agree. Too many people watching and not smashing the like button. Yeah, we got a big guest coming up in 2 weeks. You thought Carl Banks was big. I got a big guest in about 2 weeks. I'm not going to say whom, but we got a coup. We'll call it a coup. We got a coup coming on this channel. Why people want to come on this channel? Why we're on the Believe Network? Everything else? Got no fucking clue. But we got a coup coming on. Jay Ferris says everyone hates the chains and talk about the attic. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. Just run. You could run the guys out fucking faster. They could stop and get coffee and still have the measurements done faster. Douglas says, hey, Tim. Hey, everyone. What's up? What's up, Douglas? I haven't seen you well. Trent says, I prefer the old-fashioned chain gang. I do too. Blackbird says, I can't remember the last time I've seen the Giants throw an 80-yard pass. I can't either, to be honest. And it was nice. It was nice to actually, because it's going to loosen the defense. It's going to open up the middle of the field for your run game. Douglas says, I kind of want Jackson Dart to play the whole preseason. I don't want him to play the whole preseason game. No. Don't want to play the whole preseason game. I want start Jackson Dart the first half. Give him the first half. And then roll out Tommy DeVito and Jameis Winston. Give them some reps. Because probably what you're hoping is going to happen, Russell Wilson's going to play 15 games. Because there's going to be a period of time when 37-year-old Russell Wilson is going to miss some games. So, but get Jackson Dart some reps early, play him with the second teamers. When you go total Home Depot in the second half, get him out of the game. But get him in with the second teamers and kind of go from there. Why, Mr. Corn says, why did we ever pay Daniel Jones? Do you see? I did see him on the Colts. A.R. Richardson looked good early on. I didn't get to see the whole part of the game, but I saw parts of it. Jay Ferris says, if nothing else, Jackson Dart is putting a major heat on Carlton Banks. Not unusual to be loved by anyone. Who's Carlton Banks? Or was that Carl Banks? Sean, what's up, Sean? What's up, the Joker? What's up, everyone? Joker is in the house. We got to the chat. We got the Joker chat 30 minutes late. Where we getting there? David says, so another year of the Giants not being able to stop the run. I guess, well, 5-12 here. I still say we're a 5-win team, but and it's kind of common football sense. You can't have 3 undersized defensive ends or potentially have 2 undersized defensive ends starting and a rookie who is not a linebacker. Because Abdul Carter, we've said this before, and he kind of was proving it again against the first team Jet offense, is a guy that can rush the passer. He can use his speed. He can use his quickness. You can create mismatches. But in the run game, I watched him get pancaked twice. And then I watched him get put on his ass on a chip block. He and like I said, this is a guy that had a 25.9% missed tackle percentage his second season as a starter as an off-ball linebacker at Penn State. He has a problem making tackles in space, and he has problems making tackles in the open field. He will proficiently rush the passer. You can see that at times. You have to scheme for him to do that, though. But he can be a guy. He can be a guy that can get you, as a rookie, can get you 10 sacks. Yes, 100%. But you drafted a guy 3rd overall not to only play 33% of the games. I always go back to Jerry Oslowski, the former NFL Buffalo Bill 10-year lineman, who was on the show and big Penn State fan too, and said, I would not play him at linebacker. I would make him a situational pass rusher. Darius Alexander. I'm not going to say Darius Alexander sucks yet because it's still way early. But Darius Alexander has had moments in camp. He's had a pretty quiet camp, but there is the reason why he was the 12th defensive end taken this year's draft. 11 other defensive ends were taken before him. So you got to remember that. 11 other ones. And this was a defensive late in draft. So a defensive tackle, excuse me. But I'm not, he can crush the passer. He's just kind of small. Let's see here. Would you pick Wando Robinson over either slot gunner? W. Robertson? Would you pick W. Robinson over the other slot wide receivers? You're probably going to keep Gunner. Because Gunner is going to be, I think Gunner should be your kick returner. But let's see, Banks, JMS, and Hyatt are looking like another group of Shane failed pick. JMS didn't look that great either. I'll put Dart on my 3rd string quarterback. To me, Jackson Dart should be your 3rd stringer. He shouldn't be on the roster, but he should be, because of the NFL rules, he should be your 3rd string emergency quarterback on game day for at least the first 6 weeks. Jay Ferris says, since we waited the 5 years, why not let the guy develop and do what Darius Alexander is going to be 30 by then? Yeah, Darius Alexander, people forget, is older. What's your opinion on Evan Neal? Evan Neal did not look good yesterday. Evan Neal did not look good yesterday at times. Evan Neal had some nice plays, but he is another guy that is still learning. He is still learning right now, Evan Neal. So no. Sean, Joker, man, that's a joke, right? The offensive line looked okay. Didn't look great. The offensive line looked okay. This is the same offensive line that only had a 3.8 yard rushing attack on 21 carries and didn't even crack 80. I don't think they cracked 80 yards. The offensive line did not look good against the first team of the Jets. So, hey, James Williams says, I love those gotta love those great white sharks, but I'm not getting in the water with them. That's true. Azeez Ojulari had a sack. Oh, let's see. That's good. I heard Azeez Ojulari was in camp. Is that true, Trent? Yes, Azeez Ojulari was signed by the Eagles. Trenton was telling us earlier he wasn't having a great camp. My home opener is against the Chiefs. Very rough. It's a rough talk. It is a rough talk. Sean said, Joker says, people have to remember how as good as Dart looked. I am excited, but he is nowhere. He's going against vanilla defense. He's not even going against vanilla defenses right now. He's going against Home Depot defenses. He's going up against guys that are going to be drawing plays in the parking lot during their lunch break. But that's fine. But that's why Brian Dable and Kafka are doing something so un-Giant-esque. They're developing a quarterback. They are developing a guy that you are going to hopefully create into a full field, full vision, full read NFL quarterback. But we need what there is referred to as patience. We have 120 people in the chat, and I only got 48 likes. Patiently, I'm saying, hit the fucking like button. I do this for free. It's just been a long day. Oh, I'm total Jay versus. I'm totally confident that 37 years old Russell Wilson against Jason Tax President said no one. Yeah, I agree. Sadie, what's up? How do you think Carter did? Jesus. Sadie, we talked about this. Abdul Carter got pancaked twice by the left tackle and then got destroyed on a chip block in the run. And this is what's going to happen. Like I said, if this was a full game, and I was the Jets, I would run the ball. I would never have thrown the ball in that first half. In that first quarter, I never would have thrown the ball. I never would have given the ball I would never given the ball to Justin Fields. Their second play was Hall for a off tackle. I love it. Hall right tackle for 5 yards. And then they went and they literally decided to throw the ball. And I would never have done it. But then they had that 12 play drive. And then they had Bryce Hall right tackle. Then they had another one, Hall off the right guard. Then they had another one for Hall left tackle. Then they had another one, Hall right tackle. Then they had another one, Hall right tackle. Then they had another one. I love this. Hall, Allen then left guard. Then they had another one run, and this wasn't on their field goal. This was their field goal drive. So they had a 12 play drive that only went 52 yards, but they ran it most of the time. I never would have thrown the ball. Never would have thrown the ball. Dable is definitely putting Dart out there in situations where he's not going to get exposed. That's it. And that's what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to protect your rookie quarterback. If you think you are going to have a 5-win non-playoff season anyways, you have you have 2 veteran quarterbacks. Protect your rookie quarterback. Put him only in situations where he is going to look good. That makes sense. It's Joker. It's not the fact that our run defense your run defense is not going to be vanilla. Your run defense is what it is. If you cannot hold the line, if you cannot set the edge, that has nothing to do with the vanilla defense. That is basic football fucking, you know this, Joker. What basic fucking football 101. Hold the point of attack. Set the edge. You learn that in fucking Pop Warner. That doesn't have to be there's no exotic run defenses. There's exotic blitz packages. There's exotic coverages, but there's an exotic run defense. I'll take Russell against the NFC quarterbacks. What we had, Coach Hayward Bay, I'd take him too. Like I said, start Russ. I agree. Russ, to me, is a 37-year-old professional quarterback who's going to look better than what Daniel Jones ever looked like. But he's going to go up against this tough schedule, a suspect offensive line. And right now, he doesn't have Malik Neighbors, which doesn't help the Giants because then your big signing is 3 years, $36 million, and Darius Slayton better fucking pay off immediately. Because if you don't have Malik Neighbors and you don't have Cam Scatteraboo, and you're going to be running out there with Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy and Turbo, You better figure out your game quickly. Rick says the D-line could be a great one this year. The O-line seemed like the weakest point. Are we addressing the issues? The D-line right now, outside of Dex Lawrence, we haven't seen him yet, gave up 141 yards rushing. I'm not saying it yet, guys. Darius Alexander has not looked good. Has not, for how well that times DJ Davidson and Jordan Riley played the other day. It's again, they're getting the Bills. To me, like I said, the Bills to me are a first team defense. Their defense was horrible last year. But like I said, we had a one tackle. Or I think they had two. DJ Davidson and Jordan Riley each had an assist yesterday. Big Blue says, I hope Collins can make the team and replace Pappas. Well, he's not going to replace. No, but you got to keep. Wan'Dale Robinson is good at what he does, which is get you 5-6 yards. And occasionally will break a play, but if you need a 5-6 yard gain, he does that well. So that's getting 5 to 6 yards in the NFL is tough enough. But if you have a 5 to 6 yard gain and someone he needs to learn. It kills me that if you watched, and also his catch radius is so small. But what kills me is if you watch Cam Scatterbo, and I watched him all camp, and yeah, he has the hamstring, but the way Cam Scat, it's almost like you want to tell Wan'Dale Robinson, go watch Cam Scatterbo catch the ball. And that's how you do it, because I still think to this day he has not learned Wan'Dale Robinson to catch the ball correctly on the NFL level. And this is a good way to put it, Jay. First, Wan'Dale Robinson is a nice player on a loaded offense, not a bad one. I agree. Hamstrings are a pain in the ass because you never know what's going to happen with the hamstring. James, are you out in the chat? I know you are. I'm going to put the link in there, James, because James was with us yesterday, so I'm going to put the link in the chat here. There you go, Big James. James, I want James. We are way behind on the chat. We're 36 minutes behind on the chat. I want to thank the 110 plus people that are watching here and the other 100 plus people and whatever they're watching on that other thing. Get up to 70 likes. Get me up to 70 likes, man. Make me feel happy. Make me feel good about myself. Oh, let's see here. Papa Smurfs was a high pat. He was a second rounder. Dak is above average, but he has seen his best. He's okay. Hurts still has limitations as a passer. Daniel isn't sneaking up on anyone this season. I agree, and I think there's going to be a regression with Jaden Daniels. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. I think Dak is the wild card because Dak, to me, can have his moments. And I think that's the and Hurts, like I said, Hurts, as long as Saquon Barkley's running the ball, Hurts is dangerous. So I'm okay with that. Where I got a super chat here. Let's get to JD Sports Talk. First time tuning in. What's your thoughts? What was your draft? What was your Dart pre-draft thoughts? And has anything changed watching him right now? And the draft, also the Giants drafted an 8-10 starter in the fifth round. Here's my thoughts on Jackson. My thoughts on Jackson Dart was this, and it's always been the thought of Jackson Dart. I think you could have got him in the second round where you were picking. I don't think you need to trade it up to get him. He was a one-read quarterback coming out of college with Lane Kiffin's, because that's what all Lane Kiffin's quarterbacks are. Because the fact you go back to the most successful NFL quarterback Lane Kiffin has ever had, it's gonna be not successful. It's gonna be like the likes of Matt Barkley. And Lane Kiffin is smart. Lane Kiffin will tell you, I'm not here to develop NFL quarterbacks. I'm here to win college games. He's athletic. He's not as fast as Daniel Jones. We said it before, and all the scouts said it right after the end of the college football season. You have to see if he's going to have the ability to read the entire field, because most of the time he was a one-read quarterback at Ole Miss, and they're not allowed to audible at Ole Miss. He's got to show that he can go through his NFL progressions. He's got to show that he can read NFL defenses. My only thoughts, nothing really has changed in my opinion of Jackson Dart. I've said this before. You got to sit the kid. And the Giants coaching staff with Brian Dable and Mike Kafka are doing incredibly the right thing by not putting him against first teamers. They did not put him in against the first team on any of the joint practices. He's always run second team. He's going into games against a lower end Buffalo defense whose pass rush was not suspect last year, was absent, which is why they went out and got Ed Oliver and Joey Bosa. And then they put him in against the Jet Home Depoters so he would be successful. It is what you want to do. You want to build JD Sports Talk. You want to build your quarterback or your rookie quarterback and build his confidence and allow him to have progress and each week get better. So then what you do each week, you slowly assimilate more. It's like the board. You slowly assimilate more of the game plan. And then you slowly open up more of the field. So then he can go through his first reads. He can go through his second reads. Early on, you ever notice with Jackson Dart, it's a lot of shovel passes. It's a lot of dump offs. It's a lot of quick bubble screens. It's a lot of short passes, 3-4 yard passes out to the tight end. It's all by design. And then as you get later in the game, you have him take some shots. So my opinion on Jackson Dart really has not changed. My opinion on Jackson Dart is what the Giants are doing is 100% correct. And all the people that are overly excited about what he is doing, you need to taper this you need to taper this enthusiasm because, like I said, we've read the quote from Brian Dable many times. Brian Dable's glad that he's here, but Brian Dable even says Jackson Dart has a long, long way to go. And my opinion is, unless you're like 1-8, he shouldn't see the field until the second half, late in the second half of the season, because there's no need to. You took him at 25th as almost a red shirt year. So I think that you have to fundamentally think of it that way, and kind of go from there, and kind of see where that where we kind of where it kind of progresses, I guess. But like I said, no, my opinion hasn't changed on him yet. Because like I said, I am one of these people that does not take preseason with this overhypeness. Like Jackson Dart getting buried. Not Jackson Dart, I'm sorry, but Double Carter getting buried in the run game at times, that's concerning to me. But I'm not going to sit there and say, he is going to be terrible. But he did get pancaked twice and got destroyed on a chip block. So you disrespect Home Depot workers too much. All right, Lowe's. How about that? We'll go to Lowe's. Gotta go to Lowe's. I like Lowe's. I got to bring him in because he was at the game yesterday. And we need to talk about the game. I want to make sure I get to everyone's comments as well. It's the venerable. It's the one and only. People actually were like, I have come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass because there's only one person I want to meet. It's James Williams, the angry black man. They didn't come there to meet me. They came there to meet James. Literally. Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast was like, where's James? I don't need to fucking see too. We had a guy come all the way from Wilkes-Barre. Look at it, James. Side eye. We had a guy come all the way from Wilkes-Barre. And he didn't want to meet me. He wanted to meet James. What's up, my brother?
Shout out to the weatherman, Mr. G.
Mr. G, the weatherman from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, was in the house with us. Also known as Anthony.
Anthony, Big Ant.
Big Anthony coming in. Big Anthony rolling in wearing his Florida State gear, which I didn't understand, but that's
he was repping Florida hard yesterday.
He repped Florida hard yesterday.
He was. Everywhere we went, people were like, you got a Gator shirt on? He's like, yeah, man, that's my team. And I salute him for it. I get it.
I love this one from Eugene Brown. Tim, that's the Modell song. Yeah, I know, but I just added the Modell song to Gotta Go to Lowe's. See, it works both ways.
Kind of.
James, you were at the game.
Yes, sir.
You were there with the lovely Mrs. Online. Big Blue was there, of course. Ryan, Anthony, all hanging out. What was your assessment of what you saw yesterday?
We look like a team in a rebuild, but the difference is we look like we've been a team in rebuild for the past 3-4 years, but this looked. I'm trying to be nice.
The last 11 years we've been in a rebuild.
I'm trying to be positive.
Okay, we are positive. Look, we said nothing but nice things about Jackson Dart.
So the difference is, at least on this team, like we actually look like we have some players who can play.
Right.
Like we have some guys where we can say, obviously Neighbors, he didn't play yesterday, but Neighbors doesn't need to play. No, we know when Neighbors
doesn't need to play. Dexter Lawrence doesn't need to play. These guys.
Dexter Lawrence doesn't. Andrew Thomas, when he's healthy, he doesn't need to play.
Doesn't need to
play. Even for all the, and again, he's not a top receiver. He's like a low end 2 or a high 3. Darius Slayton, we know what he is. We know what he can bring. And I'm just saying all that. Like Tyrone Tracy has looked good, especially with Scadaboo being out. Turbo Miller has shown some pop.
Turbo Miller's good at times.
He's shown some pop. So
Turbo looks good in the passing game. Let's be honest.
Yes. He like a great screen game back. Yes.
He still gets knocked off way too easily when he runs out of the backfield.
He does. Again, he's not the biggest of guys. Remember, his strength is speed, not.
But he is a better third down option than Eric Gray.
Oh, listen, Eric Gray, and Devin Singletary's okay, but I much rather just want to see Tracy Scadaboo mixed in with Miller. Singletary is another guy. We know what he is. We know there's nothing he's going to do that's going to change our perception of him.
Right.
So we have guys on this team that those are the good. That's the good. We have guys on this team where we say, no, those guys are players. We know what those guys, when healthy, will bring to the team.
100%.
The other part about the rebuild, is when we do have some players here that still they're kind of in the middle. Oh, Brian Burns, he's good. Put him in that category. We know what he brings,
Well, Brian Burns has played in preseason, and we have not really been calling out. Listen, we have seen Brian Burns and Abdul Carter in training camp have looked unstoppable.
Yes.
But the combination in games right now, and I know it's a very small sample, so I'm not going to get overly excited, it has not looked good.
No. Well, it's not going to look good when we're still getting gashed on the run.
Do you know how many tackles? Do you know how many sacks the Giants had yesterday?
Sacks? 0.
Mm-hmm. And you know how many tackles for losses they had yesterday?
That I don't know. I won't even guess that. 3?
They had 1.
No. We were there live. We saw, and again, the Jets. Aaron Glenn is going to run that like an old school football team. Hard-nosed defense, toughness, run the ball first. Have a play action. Justin Fields, he has ability with his legs. They're going to. So we got to see that if you watched it, if you were there, salute. But we got to see like what it's going to look like when you have a tough-nosed, old-school head coach with a tough football team. Because the Jets are a tough team. They have better players than us, and they just decide. There was one drive where they ran the ball 8 or 9 straight times, whether it was the running back or Justin Fields.
That was their field goal drive, and they only moved the ball. And we talked about that earlier. They only moved the ball 50 yards, but they had it. It was 12 plays, almost 7 minutes.
You take 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 4 or 5 yards here, 3 yards here. That adds up, and that tires out a defense, and it tires out your pass rush. So that's something that we have to keep an eye on, because that's one thing that's still a problem, stopping the run. I will say we have to be honest. That's not being negative. It's just being honest. We do not stop the run. We don't gang tackle as well as we should, and that's something Dable and Bowen has to work on, is stopping the run, because the pass rush won't matter if you can't stop the run.
Right. I mean, like I said, if I was the Jets yesterday, if this was a regular season game and I was the Jets, I would never have had. Justin Fields only threw the ball 5 times during his entire series. He only completed 1, but he only threw the ball 5 times. I would never have thrown the ball. I literally, until the Giants came up and stopped the run yesterday, I would have just kept running. And it's all, and like I said, you look at the play chart, it's all off tackle. There's a couple plays over the guard, but everything is off tackle left, off tackle right, then over the guard. And like I said, you pointed out yesterday, which I was very glad that you did, that Abdul Carter had the red sleeve on. So we could watch Abdul Carter. We could see him more proficiently what he was doing. And he is a speed guy that is going to be a nightmare against the pass rush. 100%. He's got to learn. He's got the Kayvon Thibodeau oopsies. He's got to learn to finish, like Kayvon Thibodeau didn't know how to do season 1. But the run game, 3 plays, he got demolished. He got pancaked twice on the left tackle, and then he had that chip block where he just got wrecked. And I think that was my concern. And that was almost probably every draft analyst's concern, that he was going to have issues playing against the run. I mean, And I don't, like I said, we talked about it on the show. It's can you really take a guy at 3 that may only play in 30-40% of the snaps? Well, we did. But like I said, if you put him in the rush, he's going to be a destructive force. But you keep him in that run game. If I see Abdul Carter in the run, if I see Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Brian Burns, and I got a pass play, I'm checking out. Even if it's 3rd and 11, I'm checking out. And I'm going to a run. Because I got an idea. If I got a quality running back, I may get 12.
I got a feeling we're going to get hit with a lot of screens this year. We should defense Bowen. He needs to be aware of that. I got to just my personal. I feel like we're going to get hit with a lot of screens. I feel like when a lot of people see, like you said, if I'm the quarterback, I'm looking out there and I see, oh, Dexter Lawrence is in the middle. I see Abdul Carter. He's hungry over here. Burns is over here. Whoever else. Okay, like you said, I'm going to switch out of this. I'm not dropping back 3-4, for a bomb with it. No, just running up the middle. Or off tackle, like you're saying, we were just getting gashed, guys. That's the one thing I've seen in both. We have the Patriot game coming up this week, but
hold
if you wanted,
hold on, Sean, I was at both joint practices, and I was at 8 of the last 10 open practices, and I will go watch my videos, the shorts. I think one of them has 40,000 views, where Allen took the ball and went 40 off tackle. No one could do anything against the pass. The Giants' offensive line was dominant against the Jets' offensive line at times. And outside of the first day, the Jets ruled the open practice. The Giants did not come around until the last 5 red zone plays, which was the closeout of the practice, where Russell Wilson had 3 touchdowns. So the first day, the Jets dominated. It was day 2, the Giants' defensive line and Jet defensive line dominated the offensive line, both offensive lines. But no, the Jets were running against. I posted videos of it. The Jets were running against the Giants' defensive line, but nobody could get there in the pass. But no one could do anything against the rush. Just want to correct you because I was only there. I was only sitting there taking video. So. Oh my goodness gracious. People, you know better. I can love you, but don't say stupid shit. I can love you. So, morons were calling for Carter the next LT. No, Carter to me is going to be good at what he does. Right, James? I think he's going to rush.
Yes.
He's going to be good at
but just to I like Wyatt, but to Wyatt's point, I think it's a great thing that he did not get that number for a number of reasons. But it's good he's being his own man. And that's what we want. Be your own man.
See Abdul Carter getting 10, 11 sacks this year. I could see that.
I could see that depending on, honestly, how teams are going to play us. Because if you look at it, if I'm a team, let's say the Saints, right? The Saints is giving our schedule, and again, no wins are guaranteed in the NFL on Sunday or Thursday, whatever. No wins are guaranteed. But if you look at our schedule, I would think 80% of the fan base would say the Saints is a game we should probably try to win, especially since it's early. We have so many tough games early. But if I'm the Saints coach and I'm not putting out a prolific passer at my quarterback, I'm going to try to run the ball as much as possible. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of teams just go old school.
That's what we've seen. That we gave up 2,000 yards last year. We were 31st against the run. That's what we've seen for the last 9
I think we're going to see it again.
This is why I'm going to talk about with Abdul Carter real quick again, because I like Abdul Carter. I like his game in reference to the passer. But you know who Abdul Carter is going to be? I was thinking about this last night on the 2-hour ride home. Do you remember 2023? New York Jets, Bryce Huff.
Oh.
Bryce Huff's played in all 17 games, didn't start any, had 10 sacks, but he only had 29 total tackles. He had 19 solo and 10 assists. And 21.
I remember that.
That's what I can see him doing. That's what I can see him being. A situational pat. Now remember, Bryce Huff got paid the next year. He shouldn't have, but he got paid the next year. I remember when people wanted him on the Giants, I said, no, you stay fucking far away from Bryce Huff because all he can do is rush the passer. But Abdul Carter, to me, can get you I mean, if he's put in the right situations, he doesn't have to start. Let him play 17 games. I think he gets you 10, 11 sacks, but I don't think he's going to get you a plethora of tackles like people think. There is a reason also that Abdul Carter throughout camp has been running with the second team early on. And then he switched it. And then they tried him at linebacker early in camp. And then, like the Jets, he went and switched on the first team and during the pass rushing drills with Brian Burns. And they showed it was a nice tandem. But I could see him being the situational guy.
Yeah. I mean, you're spot on with everything you said. The only thing and again, I'm old school. This is just my personal thing. There's nothing to do with Tim, but a guy I take in the top 5, I don't think he should be situational.
Well, top 3 technically.
I'm just saying, like, hopefully, again, he's young. Hopefully he'll develop and get stronger and, whatever, we can use him more and the defensive coordinator can find spots. But I take a guy top 5. I always say in any sport, you take somebody top 5, I need you to be out there 90% of the time.
Yeah, we talked about during the draft. Mr. Oliver, did you like the 4-3-5-2 alignment? I think that's what you're going to have to run. I like the 4-3 because you're going to potentially try to hide some of your deficiencies at linebacker by throwing in that extra defensive end or pass rusher. And again, same with the 5-2. I don't think the 5-2 alignment we're going. I don't think Darius Alexander's ready.
No,
you got a couple other defensive tackles that we brought in that they played well, but I'm not overly impressed that they should be a full-time running mate with Dexter Lawrence. And there's a reason the Jets ran for 141 yards yesterday. And you got to remember, people keep saying, well, Dexter Lawrence wasn't in there. Well, Dexter Lawrence was in there 13 weeks last year, and they still ran for over 2,000 yards. If your strength is the middle of the field, James, and you know this, and I'm a smart offensive coordinator, I know the weakness is undersized defensive ends. Where am I going? I'm not going in the middle of the field. And if I'm a smart defensive end and I'm proficient at my job in reference to playing the run, I'm trying to push the run back into the middle of the field. Why? Because that's where my strength is. But if I can't set the edge and maintain my assignment, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's also hard when you don't have a full core of proper linebackers too. When I say proper, I mean fully efficient linebackers who could, cover, rush the passer, and stop the run.
Quay Walker, Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah, I know.
Romeo Dobbs.
Oh, hold on. Let me get this out because I said I was going to do this yesterday, and I got it
okay.
Let me get this out. I got to do this because I know. Let me do this. I'm going to be negative now. Now I'm going to be negative because we have a thing that we do here. It was with the Daniel Jones, and I'm not going to allow that anymore. I mean, I didn't allow that. Y'all allowed that with the Daniel Jones hype. We're going to stop overhyping our guys who don't show us diddly squat. Jalen Hyatt yesterday, again, not talking about the man, not talking about his family, but you're a pro football player. You won the Biletnikoff Award in college, which you're supposed to be a good receiver in the next level, hopefully. Beginning of the game, first of all, he didn't start. Second of all, he comes out for a play. I'm like, oh, Tim, there he goes. Fake Odell. He comes out, he blocks. It's a running play. Then he comes off the field. The very next play was the 80-yard bomb to Collins.
But don't worry, Russell Wilson really likes him.
Then the hitch route he had where he caught the one pass. Russell tried to go back to him again, and you know what happened? Not on the same page. No, not even close.
They went different ways.
And it's
targets.
It's just I don't care how fast he's supposed to be. I don't care how much he talks in TikTok. I don't care with no player to social. That's where the social media thing messes people up. Because if I sit here and I lift weights and then I get on here and I go, yeah, man, I was in the darkness. And, when you're in the darkness, sometimes you got to go to the light because the light is the only thing that can take you out the darkness, man. And the darkness makes you tougher, man. Yeah, that sounds real prolific, I guess, to a 5-year-old. But that guy, honestly, going into his 3rd year, nah, we can't keep players on this team who we're talking about Bo Collins in Washington more than this guy.
I was going to say, well, you have to be honest. Bo Collins, Montreal Washington, and Little Jordan Humphreys have all played better, exceedingly better than Jalen Hyatt. And they've played better. Jalen Hyatt had a nice end run. And I don't mean to play the end run, but he had a nice run at the end of the last open practice. He had a touchdown. But Bo Collins, Little Jordan Humphrey, and Montreal Washington have all played proficiently better than him throughout the entire camp.
It's not even close. And I know Hyatt, he had an undisclosed injury, but hopefully he's healthy. But I'm just not doing this anymore with this team or any fan where it's like a guy who's been here almost 3 years, going into his 3rd year, excuse me. And what does he have to show? Nobody in this chat can pull up one highlight play from his entire career. You can't name a play where he made a big play or he made a big touchdown. You can't.
That's not true. In his rookie season, he had some nice big catches.
Name one off the back of your head right now. Name one.
I can't name one right now because
of course you can't. But I bet you if it was Victor Cruz, we could.
You mean like that bomb against the Jets?
I'm just saying. How I judge things, and it's like, hey, somebody tells me, hey, he had a lot of good plays. I'm not talking about Tim, or hey, he had a lot of good plays. Tell me one. You can't call that off the top of the dome. It wasn't memorable.
That's true.
So you're telling me in 2+ years he hasn't given you one memorable play? Stop that train. That train is at the station until he decides to move it. No more Jalen Hyatt hype. I don't care what he did in college. I don't care. He's lean and he's fast. And I'll be honest, like, he doesn't look that fast to me. I watched him out there yesterday, and he wasn't breaking away from anybody. He wasn't blowing past people in the couple plays I've seen him. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully when the season starts, he'll turn it on and I'll look stupid. Hopefully.
Does he make the team though? That's my listen. I understand he's a 3rd round pick. I understand that he is a Shane pick. And make sure we're only at 66. Let's get up to at least 80 likes. Come on, we got 100 some people watching, another 100 some people on the other side. Let's get at least to 100 likes. But does he make this team?
Or listen to what you just said. Or are you asking if he's even going to make the team?
Or does he make this team by default because of the potential injuries to Malik Neighbors? Because you think about this, if Malik Neighbors, let's say there is a separated shoulder issue. Let's just say, for sakes, there is a separated shoulder, and he's going to be limited, or maybe he's limited going into week 1. Does Jalen Hyatt, after the way he has performed for the Giants, even through training camp, does he make this team? Because, like I said, I think. Because right now he's listed as the number 2 wide receiver behind Darius Slayton, which I thought was insane.
Thank you. That's insane. Thank you.
But you have Little Jordan Humphreys listed as a number 2 behind Malik Neighbors. But then behind him, you have Zach Pasquale, Juicy Wells. You got Bo Collins. You got Little Jordan Humphreys. These aren't names that resonate we're not looking at Jerry Rice and James Lofton and or anyone or any of these great names without Malik Neighbors. I mean, is he still a name enough to stay on the team even though all these other guys have outperformed him, because he is a 3-year pro, but so is Montreal Washington.
I think it'll be a save face non-cut, as you just said, a save face non-cut. Where Joe Shane, again, I said it in the comments, you say it all the time. Joe Shane has like 2 draft classes here where it's like, I don't know, buddy. we're not hitting the target here.
Potentially at the end of next year, potentially. You might sign McFadden, you might re-sign Wando Robinson, but out of the 20+ picks, all of them could be gone.
Including the guy we're talking about, and I think Hyatt will make the team, because if that guy doesn't make the team, Shane, you're looking pretty bad out here as far as evaluating talent, you know. But the Jalen Hyatt, the hype, and I would say the anticipation. We're all sitting here anticipating that he's going to turn the corner. Some people in life never turn the corner. They never even approach the corner. We have to stop doing that. It's I watched that. He came on the field, off the field, on the field, off the field. That was our second preseason game. We have the Patriots next. If he doesn't show anything in the next game, I mean, we're supposed to go into the season with Neighbors, somewhat hobbled, and Papa Smurf, he did get almost killed yesterday.
We don't want to talk about Jalen Hyatt. Or we want to, because Jalen Hyatt, I don't think Jalen Hyatt's going to be on the team. But let's get to also some of the.
I'm just saying.
I know, I agree, and I see Mr. Belford in the chat. Carter got BP says Carter got pancaked all game. He didn't get pancaked all game.
No, not all game. Not all game.
No, but he is not a run defender. I mean, he's not what we would refer to as a defensive end run defender. Like I said, to me, he's Bryce Huff. He's 2000, whatever it was, 22. He's 2023 Bryce Huff. Got 10 tackles, and then you got 29 tackles, and you got 10 sacks. And I can see that from him. I could easily see him getting double digits in sacks.
Yeah. But like you said, it'll be situational. And he probably won't be out on the field for all 3 downs.
No. And nor should he be, because I can't have 3 undersized defensive ends out there. Deb says, is there anyone out there the Giants could pick up to help the run game? Stopping the run, Deb, or running the ball? Because I don't think I am concerned, James, that you're going to go into the season if it's true that Scatterboom may not be ready for week 1, that you don't have a north-south runner. You'll go in there with Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, and potentially Turbo. I mean, I'm not feeling the love there right now.
We need hopefully Scatterboo can miraculous. Hamstrings are a tricky thing. Somebody said that in the chat earlier. Very tricky. We learned that with Odell and a number of other players, but we need Scatterboo because that tandem, that trio you said, we like Tracy, but Singletary is what he is, and Turbo's not running over anybody.
No, but he's gonna be a good third down guy. Sean, I'm just saying, I'm like I said, I'm just, but you just said it yourself. That's fine. I'm just saying what beat writers are saying. Yeah, we've seen the Giant beat writers. They are not what we like to refer to as
non-biased.
I was telling a story about George Washington chopping down the cherry tree and how he says, I cannot tell a lie. I did it. And I was saying a story that if a beat writer did it, there would be a different story or analogy with that. There wouldn't be, I could not tell a lie. The beat writer would be, I'm going to tell you 50 lies, and then I'm still going to tell you I didn't do it. So we know Giant beat writers. Some of them, people say that I'm on the hook for Believe, that I'm being paid by Believe. And, sometimes my opinion would be skewed to that, which is a total farce. But yeah, there are some people that seem like they're on the Giants payroll. Giants says Giants. Okay. I think it's a regular season game with Dex. I think we would have to play the run better. Fields can't throw. Just do what teams did with us. Here's the problem. And this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Dexter Lawrence played in 13 games last year before he got hurt. We were still ranked 31st against the run. All these years that we've been bad against the run, James, the last 4 or 5 years, who's been on the team?
Well, Dexter Lawrence has been here.
Dexter Lawrence has been here. And it's not Dexter Lawrence's fault, but if I can't stop, if I'm a team, and this goes back to the preseason joint practice, Joe Judge's second year against the Cleveland Browns. I figure out that I can't stop the run off the edge. I can't stop the off tackle run. I don't need to run in the middle of the field. And then when you adjust to stop the outside run, because a lot of times last year, they also put Dexter Lawrence in a defensive end position. I run it up into the middle of the field and then I go play action. It's not a difficult thing to assess. And we've been talking about this for 4 years.
And also for all of you, if you played or you didn't play, think about this. If you're Dexter Lawrence, and we love Dexter, but I'm doing my job. I'm rushing the passer. I'm getting sacks. I'm stopping the run. After a while, you're probably going to look over to your flashy guys on the edge, and you're probably going to talk to them in the locker room and say, "Hey, guys, I need you guys to kind of help contain the run a little better."
Do something else. Wyatt Armstrong said, "Did people run on LT?" No.
No. What? No. Did people run on LT?
Go back. Wyatt Armstrong, I want you to go and Google. I want you to go and Google Lawrence Taylor, Ruben Mays.
People didn't even stare at LT across the line.
Just go Google Lawrence Taylor, Ruben Mays. Nothing else.
Did people run on LT?
Watch that clip, and then that'll answer your question. And I'm going to give you a hint of the clip because I actually was at the game. Ruben Mays was going right. He was going off tackle right. And Lawrence Taylor was on the other side of the field. He ran across the field and took Ruben Mays down for like a 2-yard loss. And I think at one point in time, he also caused him to fumble. So no, you did not run at LT. You did not look at LT. LT became more of a force, especially against the run when they got Carl Banks. Because what happened was, what did you do, James, in 86? In 80, I should say 85, 86, especially 85 when Banks came in? You ran at Banks. And then when Carl Banks became Carl Banks, you couldn't run to the left. You couldn't run to the right. You couldn't go up to the middle because you had Harry Carson, Pepper Johnson, and Gary Reason sitting in the middle. That's why we ran a 3-4 defense, because we had 4 outside linebackers. Technically, 2 of them are in the Hall of Fame, and so should probably Carl Banks. But Carl Banks does not get the credit he deserves. And I know he talks about the number being retired, but he's in the Ring of Honor. Not being retired, but he's in the Ring of Honor. He talks all about it all the time. But Carl Banks doesn't get the due that he deserves because of the fact that he played with 2 Hall of Fame linebackers.
Yeah.
So Carl Banks on a different team and the right scheme probably is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and when he was on here, some people probably were like, "Why are you asking him about his jersey? People have worn his jersey before." But in reality, according to Giants lore, that should be a jersey that we probably shouldn't let people wear. Carl Banks was dominant, get busy bank dominant here for us. Just in Giants lore, he needs to be more revered.
Bobby Okereke shouldn't be wearing that number?
No. No, to be honest, no. At least Antonio Pierce helped us get to a Super Bowl, like at least he honored, but some of these guys, no, some numbers in certain teams should not be worn. Carl Banks needs to be elevated a little higher, even higher than what he is now. But he played alongside LT.
People will say Carl Banks only made 1 Pro Bowl and he was all pro once. But then again, you are especially as being an all pro. The problem is you have a 10-time Pro Bowler all pro defensive MVP on the other side of you. And then you had the likes of Pat Swilling and, and other big name outside linebackers back in the 80s. So he kind of doesn't get, kind of doesn't get the respect that he should get. Big Mark Store. Mark, sorry we missed you yesterday. When the time you texted me, we were still trying to park. We were literally still trying to park. And then, like I said, then we had to get into the stadium because it was kind of late. So everyone ran late yesterday.
Yeah, the parking, the situation, it was really weird, really bad.
Yeah. Strider said, Tim would love to come on. Hope reception is better. I want to talk about Carter. From what I saw, you pretty much said it. I'm out, Lol. All right, we'll try to have you on in a few minutes, Strider. I want to make sure I get to a lot of people in the chat. Let's see here. Let's see. Sean says, outside interior linebackers don't keep their eyes up enough. They need to change that. They just run into the back of the blockers. They do. Let's see. Robert says 110 people in the chat. We need more likes, people. We do need more likes, people. And I think we're up to, what are we up to? We're up to 70. 71. We can't get to fucking 80. Let's
Come on, y'all. Hit that like button, y'all.
Like, but we have 200 and something people watching here. We only got that. And McFadden, Mrs. Mick, listen. And I have I think, James, I think you like Micah McFadden more than I do.
Yeah, I like him more. Yeah. I do.
You like him more than I do. I am more realistic when it comes to McFadden. He is a guy that is on a good team, and I'm saying this on a good team, he is maybe a fourth or a fifth linebacker. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is on the Giants, he's got to be a starter. And he is a guy that, since he's come into the league, has a propensity to miss tackles. People will talk about his 2 years of the first Giant linebacker in a long time to have 2 seasons of 100 tackles or more in a row. Well, he had 101, 107. So yes, that's technically correct. But he's also a guy that has like an 8 to 9 to 10% missed tackle percentage. And he only plays in 70% of the plays on average the last 2 seasons. So he is a guy that has issues in coverage at times. He is a guy that gave up last year, you want to start. Oh, James, this is a fun game. You want to guess how many yards he gave up in pass coverage yesterday in 14 games?
Wait, yesterday or last year?
No, I'm sorry, last year. How many yards he gave up in pass coverage last year in 2024?
Damn. All right. I don't know. In 14 games?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw in 500.
Gave up 333 yards. 10.
Oh, good. All right.
Almost 10 yards to completion. The average target downfield was 8 yards for a quarterback rating of 114.4.
Yeah, we can't cover a cold.
In the league, the quarterbacks completed 83.7% of their passes against him.
Damn.
That was his pass.
That's pretty bad.
That was his pass coverage last year. But like I said, he is on a good team. To me, he's a fourth linebacker. On this team, he's a starter, and people are talking about you need to re-sign him. I'm like I said, I'm just looking at this from a defensive perspective. Good kid, hard worker. No, but he has problems missing tackles, and he gave up 333 yards in the pass game, and the average play was 9 yards downfield, which means majority of time, if you're having that play, that's probably a first down.
Yes. And listen, in my high school, I tried out for the baseball team. I actually tried to be a pitcher. I worked hard. I was a good kid, and I sucked.
Well, he doesn't suck.
No, I'm just saying I sucked.
Okay.
I'm not saying McFadden sucks.
Okay,
I'm just saying that sometimes your production has to be a little higher than just you being a good kid, or like you have to produce. This is the NFL, and I like McFadden. Yeah.
Do you know what his missed tackle percentage was last year?
Oh no, I don't even want to guess that. I don't even want to.
It's actually not as bad. Well, it's bad, but it's not as bad. He had a missed tackle percentage of 18% in 2023. So
18, do you know? I mean, that's bad. At least it's not like tremendously bad, but
dude, you miss 18% of your tackles. Can you imagine if you were a person, if you're at your job and you lost 18% of the inventory?
Oh, I'd be gone.
You'd be gone. But but what do you think his missed tackle percentage was last year?
Last year?
Yeah.
12?
Yeah. 12.5. So he improved.
Oh,
he got better.
Okay.
But he's still missing,
Thank God.
Still missing 12% of his tackles that are at him, and he only made 100 tackles.
Well, if he drops that down again,
that's what I'm saying. If he gets better, then yes.
Then we're working with something here.
Then I like it. Then we're working here. We're working here. So though, but let's see. Wyatt says Hyatt might officially be a bust. Let's see. PB says Kayvon is a bust, 6-7 sacks a season. He disappears for 90% of the game. He's got to stop that delusion.
He was getting drafted. You remember the play.
What happened?
You remember the play? He was on the ground, and the offensive lineman was just like pushing him. He was trying, like, I gotta get to the quarterback. I can't get there.
Oh my God! That's why we just listen. I think it's not like he ever got blocked by a quarterback, right?
Oh my God. And somebody will say, "Oh, you're being negative." No, if you watch the game, he was on the ground kicking, trying to like swim to the quarterback. And the guy was off the line was like, "Just stop it. Just stop it. We're not buying the toy. Just stop it."
Yeah, that's a good word. Not buying the toy. We're not buying the toy, kid. That's exactly what reminded me of my son when he was like 3. But Dad, I want it in the middle of Toys R Us throwing a fit.
I'm telling you.
It's funny though, because even in camp, Kayvon Thibodeau's had a quiet camp. The most of the new news that we come out of the camp is from Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. And honestly, like I said, I have a better feeling of Abdul Carter and Brian Burns. To me, that makes more sense. To me, that makes, if you want to sit there and say you're building upon something, you're building a pass rush, it makes more sense to me to do it with Abdul Carter and Brian Burns. And I hate this. I hate this idea of the three-headed monster. I hate it because maybe it's from being a former defensive player, but like I said, you got 3 guys on the field at the same time with the same skill set.
Yeah,
it just kind of doesn't work.
You made a great point.
Great mismatches at times, but it just doesn't work.
Nah, you made a great point last week in one of your videos, and you were like, it's like we got a defensive end and we cloned him twice over.
Yeah.
It's like multiple man in the comic. He just copied himself twice over, and it's like they're too similar. They're all too similar. They're not bad, not like garbage.
But you ever see the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton?
Of course.
And Michael, for those that don't know, Michael Keaton is in this movie called Multiplicity. And what he keeps doing is he keeps cloning himself. And he clones himself because he's got this busy life. So, and then one day what happens is the clones decide to make a copy of the clone. And that clone comes out to be mentally challenged. So the problem is this: we keep cloning the same guy, and we have Brian Burns, who I think is more of a and not saying it's great at this, but he's more of a complete defensive end and playing the run. And he's not good at playing the run, but he's more proficient defensive end playing the run and rushing the passer. Then we kind of cloned him into Kayvon Thibodeau, who has issues rushing the passer and cannot play the run. Then we cloned him again. We got Abdul Carter, who can rush the passer, but for God's sake, what I saw yesterday, don't let him play the run too often, especially against bigger, stronger tackles.
To your multiplicity point, it seems like with each clone, they got a little weaker.
Yeah.
Maybe faster, but strength-wise, they're not pushing over anybody.
Yeah. Well, I said it before. Like I said, 10, 11, I give you 10, 11 sacks with Abdul Carter. His
speed and his athletic ability will get him that.
But he has to learn to close. That's the problem I see with Abdul Carter, and that's the problem I've seen in camp, and that's the problem I've kind of seen yesterday. It's great that you can get to the quarterback. Was it yesterday? I think it was week 1 against Mitchell Trubisky. I think it was his first rush. Now, he only played 6 plays, and it was his first rush, and he got past the interior portion of the line. But what happened? Now, this is Mitchell Trubisky.
Mitch is a veteran. Let's not, Mitch is.
But Abdul Carter, in my mind, should be able to bring down a Mitchell Trubisky.
He should, but Mitchell Trubisky has played in the playoffs. He has had one successful season.
So is
Daniel Jones. Say he's not complete doo-doo.
He's not. Okay. He's not complete doo-doo, but if I take a guy at 3 in a preseason game, 3rd overall, you have a clean shot at Mitchell Trubisky, and Mitchell Trubisky pirouetted the
he did.
And out of the sack.
He did.
I would think that he would have been able to take him down. There were times in the padded practices, and it's the same thing. You watch him. Yeah, you're not going to hit the quarterback, but it's almost like the people were talking about the one play with the joint practice with Justin Fields, and they're like, well, he would have had him for a sack. I was like, well, no, actually, Justin Fields sprinted away from him because you got to remember, Abdul Carter's got to remember, there are some quarterbacks out there that have Abdul Carter's speed.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So he's just going to have to learn to close. But I think the edges of Abdul Carter, if you have to play him full time, Abdul Carter and Brian Burns makes a hell of a lot more sense if you don't have Kayvon Thibodeau and you use that Kayvon Thibodeau to go out and get yourself a linebacker.
I love Burns' motor. I will say, like, I am so impressed with the motor that Burns has, because even if he gets beat on a play, he'll still hustle, try to get, like, I love his motor. I hope Abdul Carter, playing in that locker room alongside of him, picks up on that and just hustle. Even if you get beat on, just hustle.
That's the thing. And like I said, in camp, watching these two together, I would rather, and I hope to God it's happening, I would rather have Abdul Carter learning from Brian Burns. Because like I said, the first season and even parts of last year, outside of his 11 sacks, Kayvon Thibodeau doesn't close out. We've
put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
This is true.
Kayvon shouldn't be at the coffee pot. And that's why I said his $11 million salary, guaranteed salary in 2026 as a potential premium pass rusher should be a great trade asset to go out and find yourself a starting linebacker. But again, we don't know how the rest of the league values Kayvon Thibodeau. That's the problem.
That's I would like to know what the rest of the league thinks about Kayvon Thibodeau. I would like to know what is even just in our division, the teams that get to see him twice a year, like how much of a threat is he when they're scheming, weeks leading up to the game.
Wyatt Armstrong says, this is a theoretical question. I saw LT play at the Giant. I saw LT play at Giant Stadium. Dude was a different dimension. He made it an art form. He was a maestro artist like Picasso. Well, that's not really a rhetorical question. or you got to put a question mark.
Oh, he was saying, I guess, when he asked you earlier about did people run at LT, I guess.
AP wants to know, what do you guys think about Marcus Bowe? You know what you thought about Marcus Bowe yesterday? You didn't hear his name called.
No.
You didn't hear, and that's good because, normally when you hear a tackle or a guard's name called, they did something wrong. I'm going to say the same thing before. I don't buy into the Pro Football Focus grades. I think coming out of college, he was considered to be more proficient as a pass blocker, which you hope he is, especially with a 37-year-old quarterback or potentially a rookie quarterback or potentially Jameis Winston. I think if we're going to rely on him as a rookie to be a starter right away, I think then we got some problems on the offensive line. And he's performed to expectations in regards to who he's been playing up against. He's had some issues. He's looked good at camp at times. He's also had some issues at times. So, like I said, he's a rookie. We are relying on, as a Giant team, James, way too many rookies. We did this last year, and we were a 3-win team. So, and I keep hearing how great the rookies played, but you won 3 games. So, I mean, we were a 3-win team. So, James Joseph says, snap count this year by the end of the year, Burns, Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon will be a starter and name only for ego reasons. I don't think they're going to go ego reasons with Kayvon. I still think you trade Kayvon Thibodeau.
I think you have to, like you said.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Shane Bowen, a better DC than Wink? No, not even close. Shane Bowen, you have to remember, was before he came to the Giants. He did have a little bit of success here, but he didn't have the players. Shane Wink had a number 1 dominant defense like 3 years in a row in Baltimore. People forget how good Wink Martindale was. I was excited when we got Wink. I think
we all were
very excited when we got him because what he was able to do over in Baltimore. And he was the defensive coordinator from 2018 to 2021. 2021 was a bad season or a bad year with Baltimore, which is the reason why he got fired. He was also part of the coaching staff that won the Super Bowl in 2018. And then he was promoted to defensive coordinator the year after they won the Super Bowl. This is a guy that had a number one playoff caliber champion. He had for 3 years a playoff, not only a playoff caliber, but he had a championship defense. It was just the offense that was kind of not stagnant because you had Lamar Jackson, but they couldn't, when it came to the playoffs, the offense couldn't get it done.
No. And after you win the Super Bowl, what happens? You usually lose some of your players. So I'm pretty sure if you go back and look, he lost some guys, which is why the defense started to tail off the year after that.
Yeah. Truth Bearer says, I hope they keep Malik Neighbors in the. Oh, yeah. They're not going to. Malik Neighbors is not going to see the field.
No.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to.
He is not. Dexter Lawrence shouldn't see the field. Malik Neighbors shouldn't see the field.
Nope.
Next week, Russell Wilson should not see the field.
I don't need to see Russell. They actually played him longer than we thought yesterday.
Yeah, because it was after the second series they took Justin Fields out. No, yeah, it was after the second series they took him out. The Green Bay Packers yesterday, and I think this is what the Giants are going to do tomorrow. The Green Bay Packers did it early. The Green Bay Packers didn't play 30 of their guys. And most of them were starters and second team guys. 30 guys they did not play yesterday. They're like, nope, no reason to rest this shit. We're good. We're good. So I think the Giants do that. I think the Giants need to do that on Thursday. I think the Giants, what they just need to do is, I've said this before, I would start Jackson Dart. I would play him through the first half. Then I would put in the Lowe's team. Look at that. I'm not making fun of Home Depot anymore. I put in the Lowe's team and then just evaluate talent for the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what I would do. But let's see here. What if Carter becomes the almost guy? No, Carter's young right now, and you have to Carter. What he needs to do is he needs to learn to finish. That's what he needs to do. But his thing is this: he is learning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the kids. I mean, he's gonna learn how to be an NFL defensive player. And I'm not gonna sit here and worry about him yet and tell you, he can't do this, he can't do that. All I'm just saying is he needs to learn how to finish.
Yeah, Carter, he has a long, long way to go, and we see with his potential already what he could be. And again, he's stepping up to a level where he's leaving a level where he was physically stronger than other people. Now he's coming to a level where he's realizing, oh snap, I'm getting pushed around. I have to figure out a way to maneuver around this. So he needs time.
Yeah. He's fine. He's fine. I'm not like I said, but I think people need to have the realization and rationalization that what Abdul Carter is going to be. He is going to be he's going to be your speed rush guy. He's going to be a guy that you want to get after the quarterback, but there is going to be a mismatch issue at times when he's in the run defense. That's my opinion. I
mean, that's not a negative. That's just evaluating comment. It's just what we see.
Deontay Banks.
Oh God.
Deontay Banks. OG knockout, right? Banks is a disappointment.
Well, the season hasn't started yet, but we're definitely worried.
Thank you. The season
hasn't started yet, but we're definitely.
The season hasn't started yet. Come on, James, finish it out.
The season hasn't started yet, so he's not a disappointment. He's not a disappointment yet. He's not. He's not. Has he looked a little cumbersome in preseason? Yes, big OG. I keep it real. He's looked a little cumbersome, a little lost out there. Yes. But
does he still look like he can't turn his head left?
I don't know what that's about. I've played corner. If you played corner or safety or anything in the secondary, even a linebacker, you want to turn around and see where the ball is. So I don't know if he's I don't know. I don't know what it's not firing or he's worrying about staying close to the guy. And I just don't know how you don't turn your head around.
He did it in Maryland. He did it his first season in the league. But now it just seems like it's try to run stride for stride with the wide receiver and then just throw up your hands. Not
Yeah.
that is the mixture for defensive pass interference. Because if you're not looking back at the ball, that's what we refer to as a penalty.
He's body blocking instead of playing proper defense. He's just
Oh, Ryan, all right, Ryan, I'm already over the 2-minute mark, so the short thing got fucked. So Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, who was with us for a little bit yesterday, wants to come on for a minute. So Ryan, let me put the link in the chat. And Ryan, we're trying to get Ryan up to 500 subscribers. I think he's at like 238 or 240 or something like that now. Ryan, I put the link in the chat for you, brother. We're trying to get him up to that because of the fact that if he gets 500 subscribers, I forget by what week, I get to pick what he has to do to celebrate. So
that's right. Yes, we got to do that. Oh, Ryan, I forgot to bring that up yesterday.
Yes. He gets to pick what he gets to do as his celebration for the 500 thing. So he's got to do whatever we tell him. Whatever we tell him to do. So I mean that's going to be. So we're going to make sure we get this kid up to 5. If I have to go out and I don't know if you could do it, but if I got to buy a subscriber for him, I'm going to go buy. I'll send people dollars. Just also like I will send you a fucking $1 so you go subscribe to Ryan. So if you want me to send the $1, email me at onlineBigBlue.com. I'm just kidding. I'm not paying anything. I'm not paying. Oh, Ryan's already waiting. He's laughing. Ryan's already waiting.
I'm scared to see what I have to do. What's up, guys?
Ryan's from Ryan's Big
Ryan.
I have to give Ryan credit. Ryan, we tried to give Ryan the suite tickets, and we're there's the suite, so we're trying to give Ryan the suite tickets, and Ryan went with his friends, so he was with a bunch of his buddies, but I still gave him a ticket to come up, so he wanted to meet James and say hello, so I gave him a ticket to come up, and he comes up, and he stays like the first quarter. It was almost the first quarter, and I loved it because I go to him, I go, well, where's your friend? Because he said he was there with his friend. He's like, well, he's downstairs. I was like, well, what do you mean he's downstairs? He goes, well, he's downstairs in front of the VIP entrance waiting. I was like, you're fucking downstairs for the entire first quarter and part of the kick and the kickoff. That's a true friend, Ryan. That's a true friend.
Listen, Ryan's moving up in the world. Ryan's moving up. All right, he's in the suite now.
I'm living the sweet life.
He's living the suite.
Oh, that's right, baby.
He ain't living the mimosa life, but yes, he is leading the sweet life. Ryan
was in the sangria suite yesterday.
He was in the sangria suite. Yes, we had the sangrias flowing yesterday. He was in the sangria suite. Ryan, of course, Ryan's from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast. Make sure you go and check him out. How many subscribers are we up to?
Like 236 when last time I checked.
236. All right, everyone, go to Ryan's Big Blue Podcast. Ryan's. I'm going to put the link in the thing here.
Oh, lost one. 235.
Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, there you 230. Well, sometimes that happens. Sometimes that bounces. You probably put out a video. The problem is Ryan puts out videos and then he loses subscribers. But go to Ryan's Big Blue Podcast right now and subscribe to the kid. We want to get him up to 500 so we can pick whatever Ryan has to do for his 500 celebration. But Ryan, of course, you were at the game yesterday. What was your assessment? We'll start with the offense. What was your assessment with the New York Giants?
Well, I just filmed the recap episode for Big Blue Podcast, and I'll put that out after this. But Jackson Dart, I'm going to start it with him. Jay Ferries' idea of Jackson Dart starting early in the season, I always, didn't look into it. I was always frowning upon it. I was like, you can't start him. You can't throw him into the fire. And I still don't think they should, but I'm coming around to the idea a little more. And I know he's playing against second and third stringers, so you can't really
and the Lowe's team.
Yeah, and so you can't really, judge it like it would be first teamers. But he is our franchise quarterback. He's a guy you want to try to develop as quickly as possible. And there's nothing like getting first team reps against other first team defenses. And Jay Ferries always says this, and this is something that I actually really agree with. Jackson Dart's a quarterback who is only getting better, At least you would think, because he's your franchise quarterback. He's younger. Russell Wilson, he's aging. He's only going to be getting worse, as would be presumed. So if you put Jackson Dart in there, who looks like he has a good connection with.
Do you want to hear what Brian Dable says? Jackson Dart impressing in the preseason has not changed his plan at quarterback.
Well, I don't expect it to, but I'm coming around to the idea a little more, just because, I'm not gonna say it's a lost season, because this team looks, better than what I thought it would.
When do you think you should play them?
Earlier than I thought with Jackson Dart.
What's earlier than you thought?
Maybe like after that Eagle game's on Thursday night, you have a long break until the next game against Denver. I think that's a point where you could see Dart, depending on, their record.
But what do you think the record should be for you to put in Jackson Dart?
At that point, 1-5, 2-4,
even maybe. You want
2-4, even 2-4.
At 2-4, you're only 2 games away from being 500 with 12 games left in the season, or 17 games left in the season.
But you have the Eagles. Look at the upcoming games after that. Wouldn't you like to see Dart?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing you don't. Here's the thing, but some people don't. You're not looking at. And Carl Banks even said it. Your schedule, the strength or toughness of schedule after week 1 is a crapshoot. It's no longer, because the fact that you don't know what injuries are going to be, you don't know what teams are going to be good, you don't know what teams are going to step back, you don't know what teams are going to step up. So your strength of schedule really doesn't matter after the first week, because things change weekly. Oh no, we lost James.
I gotta plug in my laptop real quick, actually.
Oh geez, plug in your laptop here. Plug in your laptop right here. And I want to talk about something real quick, though, because you're talking about quarterbacks who have had, that have great starts and stuff. But there are it's interesting because you have quarterbacks like Ryan Leaf, who you know who Ryan Leaf is, right? Or am I the only one here now? I'm the only one here now. We got quarterbacks like Ryan Leaf, who had amazing first preseasons, and then kind of just, we know what Ryan Leaf happened. Wyatt Armstrong says the Cowboys should be in the Carl Banks should be in the Hall of Fame. Let's see here. Oh, he's back.
Okay, so no, but I did see also, like, and I'm not, like, I see both sides, like, because I still do think it probably is the better idea for Russ to play early in the year. It's just that I'm coming around to the idea a little bit more than being fully against it of Dart playing early. But I did see that Daniel Jones, his first preseason, I saw the stats on it. Someone put out a tweet about it.
5 for 5, 67 yards and a touchdown. His first preseason game.
Yeah, they were putting all of his preseason games. It was 4 back then. I think 2019. Yeah, so it was 4, and they put together all of his. I think he only played in 3 though, so they put together his preseason, and the stats were like 3 touchdowns, 400 something yards, and good completion percentage.
Do you think 30 for 40 with 324 yards and 3 touchdowns and 2 comeback wins for a quarterback is a good preseason? Is a really good preseason.
What was
it? Let's just say you had a quarterback. Let's just say there's a quarterback out there.
Yeah. That
went 20 for 30 for 328, 3 touchdowns, and had 2 comeback wins this preseason. That's pretty good, right?
It sounds pretty good.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah, it sounds like that would be a quality starter going in the season. His name is Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett.
Mm-hmm. So Stetson Bennett should start over Matthew Stafford.
You're comparing Matthew Stafford and Russ now?
Well, they're both,
at this point in their career. I get it.
They're both Super Bowl winners. They're both high-ranking quarterbacks.
But I still think Matthew Stafford's a lot better at this point, like at where he is right now. But I still do think.
So by the theory with Jackson Dart, Stetson Bennett should start.
It's different. It's different.
How is it different?
Because I don't know. You look at Dart and the way he's playing. He just looks. And I didn't watch Stetson Bennett, but I don't.
He threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and led 2 comeback.
You're looking at the stats side of it. I'm looking at Dart.
He led his team. He looks comfortable. 2-minute comeback drives in 2 consecutive preseason games.
Was he working against the fourth teamers or was he the second
Well,
team?
Jackson Dart was working against the fourth teamers after the
Second and
second
third,
series.
but
After the second series, come on.
it was third. It was second and
Jets
third.
pulled most of his player. Jets pulled most of their first and second team after the second series.
But you look at Dart just in the pocket, he looks a lot more comfortable, and his pocket awareness looked good. You're not you're not feeling a little bit better about Dart than you did pre-draft at all.
No, I still feel the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. What I've
He's-
seen from the beginning of camp and to now, he looks already a lot better. And
Is there you've been to a lot of the camps, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
6
so
of the 12.
people that don't know. So you've been to a lot of the camps. How many reps has Jackson Dart got with the first team offense against first team defenses? Against the first team defense?
Not any.
Yeah. How many reps did he get against the first team defense 2 days against the Jets?
Not any.
Okay. How many reps, first team reps, did he get against the Buffalo defense, which has a suspect pass rush?
None.
How many first team reps did he? Okay. So he is doing what, and I've said this before, this is
what he should.
Kafka and Dable are doing what they should. They are putting him in situations where he is successful. That's all they're doing. It doesn't matter what the stat line is. They're putting him in situations where he looks to be successful. I still have not seen him do full field reads. I've seen him do it a couple times, but I have not. And I've seen a lot of checkdowns. I've seen a lot of quick passes to the tight ends. I've seen a lot of flares out to the running back.
Greg Dulcich. Shout out, Greg.
There you go. I know. I was going to get to the Dulcich thing. I was going to get to the Dulcich touchdown, which was a straight line touchdown where Greg was the primary. So we're not, didn't look anyone off, but I am seeing what a smart NFL head coach and coordinator will do with a rookie quarterback, especially a guy taken 25th overall. They are putting him in situations that he is successful. They are giving him plays where he is going to complete passes, but they are not giving him the full complement of the playbook. And he is running up against guys where maybe 40 to 50% of these guys aren't even going to be in the league.
One thing that I thought was pretty interesting, though, I don't know, it was in the second quarter with like 8 minutes left. At this point, Russ was the whole way. It was the first quarter to, Russ was in the whole time, and he was taken out for one play where Jackson Dart came in. It was a screen pass to Theo Johnson.
It wasn't a screen pass. It was a shovel pass.
It went to Theo Johnson for 30 yards, and they took him out after the play. Do you think that was what Dable was saying in the spring when he was just gonna, he was like, we're gonna throw Dart in situations when he's not expecting it. We're just gonna, give him a play here and there. I'm gonna throw him in with the first team. Do you think that was the idea there? And he wanted to see how Dart would handle it, because Dart even said after the game, really?
I don't think
Russ came in.
I don't think it was an equipment issue. I do think it was designed. I do think it was a design thought process from Brian Dable. Yes. And I do think it was to keep Jackson Dart on his toes. Yes, 100%.
Good. And and Dart. I mean, they went back to Russ after that too. And Russ, there was a miscommunication with Bo Collins, and he threw a pick, and that ended his day.
Almost done. Mrs. Online Big Blue has returned. Mrs. Online Big Blue is
Greg Dulcich.
Greg, I had to have you on because I had to get to the Greg Dulcich touchdown. You have been a big proponent of Greg. 2 minutes.
Former third round pick.
You have McLovin.
I am McLovin.
It's the McLovin take. We have to have the McLovin take. But yeah, you have been a big fan of Big Greg.
I do. I mean, I think that he really can be a guy, because what have we him and Theo Johnson were the only two tight ends yesterday. Actually, Jermaine Terry had a play. But outside of that, I don't, Fedoni, I don't remember him having any catches, or Bellinger. So if the Giants really are serious about getting rid of Bellinger, I don't really want them to, but if they really are serious about that, maybe Dolchich ends up getting on the roster, especially since now Chris Manhertz is hurt. So Dolchich, watch out. I've said Dolchich for a while. Toledo tight end coach retweeted it. So I got to give Dolchich there.
Gotta give Dolchich there. Well, we have to close this out because Mrs. Online Big Blue is home. So I want to make sure I get to hang out her for the rest of the weekend. I don't know what we're gonna have. What do you have coming up, Ryan? Because I don't know what I have coming up on my channel.
We got a recap episode of the game coming out in like 5 minutes. So you know what? Transfer them over there. Transfer them to the recap episode when it's out. But yeah, that's coming out in about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna do a season preview at some point after the Patriots game. Got a special guest from New York Giants, Rush, coming on. And we got a lot of stuff, fun stuff planned. I also got I might put out a video talking about Jackson Dart and the case. The case for
when
him
puberty
to start,
hits, it's gonna be special.
The case for him to start early. I'm not saying I still believe Rush should start, but I am coming around to it, like I said, and I might put out a video for why you could see Dart earlier in the year.
And on that note, we are gonna end that out. Want to thank everyone for tuning in. Want to thank the Believe Network. Want to thank FanDuel, the #1 sports book in the country. Right now, the Giants are 6.5-point dogs to the Washington Commanders in Week 1. Ryan's gonna get 1 million views. Hope Ryan does get 1 million views. We just hit we just hit over 3 million the other day, and we're actually heading until 3.5 already. So hopefully we may get 4 million by week 2 in the season. Lord only knows. I mean, I want to thank the 191 people that are still hanging out and watching this. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Might have a video, might have a podcast. I have no idea what's going to go on because it's Sunday, and also we got kids going back to school next week, so we want to make sure we're going to figure that out. Not you. You don't go back after when in PA kids go back to school. Kids go out June 6th.
That's great
in PA. So,
I get out June 26th.
Yeah, they go on June 6th. So then they go to school for like 3 days and then they're off for 5. Go figure.
Yeah, I got my final year though. Final year
For Ryan. And puberty will be right around the corner. I want to thank everyone that's tuning in. I want to thank Ryan. I want to thank James who was hanging out. I want to thank everyone that showed up last night. Like I said, I really do appreciate all the people that watched today. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's try to get 100 likes before we're out of here. And I gotta set the outro because evidently
better than last year.
That was not set. The outro was not set. And as always, like, subscribe, go to Ryan's channel, go to Ryan at Ryan's Big Blue Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to that. And we are out of here.